We've got galvanized water lines in the wall upstairs. All these lines are copper. They hooked up the valve backwards and ran the cold water in backwards. It's supposed to be on the right-hand side of the water heater. It's actually on the left. However, what we're going to do is try to restore pressure without cutting into the walls, cutting into the galvanized, you know, without messing with any of it. If we can get our rust and debris to blow back into the water heater, then we're good to go. So what we're going to do is kill the pressure going into the heater, make the heater drain so it can relieve itself. We're going to go upstairs and try to shoot water from the cold side into the hot side and then push it all the way back to the water heater. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut this valve here off. Again, this is backwards. This just happens to be where their feed is at. It's normally never on this side of the heater. So we shut that valve off. When this valve's crossing the pipe, it's off. When it's in flow or in line, it's on. So shut it off. You can open the pressure relief, but normally when you open this, it's going to continue to leak afterwards. So we're going to do the drain valve. Okay, so as you can see, the pressure died off. The reason it's not blowing full force with the water off is because it's created an airlock. When we go upstairs and open the hot side, it's going to start blowing out of here pretty good. But we don't want to rely on just the siphoning to try to free our the rust clog up. You can do it a couple different ways. You can take a aerator off, put a dime inside there to create a seal. Leave your hot side all the way open on the faucet and then turn the cold off and on several different times. Once you can hear it's running full blast, let it run for a little while so it can push the water back to the water heater. Normally the aerators, I just happen to already have this one off. Normally they'll take a dime inside them to seal them up, you know, halfway decent. So you're gonna put the dime in there, put the aerator back on the faucet. Normally you're gonna want the rubber on the top side of the dime. Okay, it's pretty tight. So, again, they're a bunch of backwards hooking up people. You see this one's got red on it. That one's got blue. You don't have the name of the faucet there, you get the part numbers. They put it in backwards. So, anyway, this is our hot, look, tell how it turns on. Our hot side's on, which is backwards. It should have pulled this way. And this is our cold side. Hear the water. So anyway, we got it blowing through the faucet. Now, and those valves are on below there. We never turned them off.
Yeah, they're off.
Okay, cool. So now, ideally, if providing it's working, of course the vanity was clogged as well. Okay, so that's a lot better than what it was. So, but mind you, we're leaking water out of the water heater right now. Oh heck, I'm gonna open that one up. And that one, see how it went to nothing? It's because that cold water is going through the inside of the faucet all the way downstairs. So now we're gonna go downstairs and see how much water is blowing out. We're gonna want it to run a little while because we're on the second floor. So that water's having to shoot all the way through all the water lines. There's probably anywhere from 100 foot to 200 foot of pipe. All the way through those lines to the basement, to the water heater, inside the water heater. And simply, you're gonna wanna make sure everything blows out of the heater. Or I mean that you can blow as much as you possibly can into the heater. So this valve ain't going as good as I would expect it to, but this valve could be. I think we got a leak on this one too. Oh yeah, that's the vanity for the first floor.
I think that's the kitchen. Now this is the kitchen here. Yeah, okay.
So there's just debris inside the valve. As you can see, that pressure increases and then goes back to nothing. So it's probably just debris inside this valve. But again, we're gonna let it run for a minute because we want that water to come all the way back here. If there's chunks of rust, whatever it may be, heck, smack them lines around a little bit. Get that rust all the way back inside this water heater. That way it's no longer clogging the pressure to the second floor. I've done this a few times and it's worked just about every time. I'd say 8 out of 10 times it works. So we're gonna go ahead and shut this off for a second. Allow that system to pressurize as much as it can. Our hot side is getting pressure from the cold because we have the cold to the water heater shut off. The cold to the water heater is what gives the water heater hot side pressure, okay? So we've got the pressure shut off to the water heater. We've got it shooting through the faucet because the faucet upstairs is on, both of them. The one happens to have a dime in the aerator to make sure all of it goes through. The other one don't. So it's not gonna come up to pressure as good as it could. And then we're gonna turn that on, try to get it to blow that water back. Heck, you can see how the drain valve starts getting clogged. And how it was spraying real hard, then stopped. Sprayed real hard, then stopped. But you can hear that water coming into the water heater. So, what I'm gonna end up doing now that it's ran for a little while is I'm gonna go backwards on the process. I'm gonna turn my drain valve off, go upstairs, turn my faucets off, come back down here, turn the valve that feeds the heater, which is normally on the right hand side, the pressure to the heater, turn it back on. So we've let it run for a little while. Shut it off one more time, see if we can't get it to pressurize. Give me a minute to get upstairs to shut the vanity off. And then, if you would, open that drain valve one more time to let it spit a bunch of water out. Then, close it and turn that valve back on. And if you want, come upstairs and I bet you can tell a difference in that water pressure. Well, heck, there was nothing coming out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, we'll get up here and see what it's doing now. We'll have to turn it back on downstairs though. Heck yeah, go ahead and do that. Hang tough for a minute and I'll yell because I want to close the vanity because it don't have a diamond aerator. So I'm gonna close it. It's still gonna be cycling through the kitchen.
Yeah.
Once I get it closed, it should come to pressure, and then I'll have you open the drain valve down there one more time to blow any more out, whatever. Yeah. Then kill it and turn the valve on, the hot water valve. Sorry for the shaking of the camera. Trying to do all this in real time for you. Okay, so I got all that off. So now the system's trying to pressurize all the way because he has the drain valve off downstairs. Okay, John boy, you got the drain valve off and the water heater on? Okay, so he's got everything on. Normally when the pipes do that, that shaking and that jarring of all that air, that's what gets it clogged. Ooh, it didn't do nothing for this. That's as low as it was. Let's go check the vanity. The water was definitely going backwards. And you know, if we wanted to go a little further, we could have shut off and on the valves underneath the sink. Let's see what this, because this one was the same way. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, a little better than the kitchen was. You can see how that one killed out. So maybe we can remove that aerator now. Get better pressure. So it did help the hot side, not in the kitchen, oddly enough, that's where the water was shooting straight through. But we may have to take the valve apart below or take this old ply line apart below for the kitchen, and then that's got to be where it's at. Hey, if the video was useful, you liked it, you saved some money, I explained it good, whatever it may have been, like it, subscribe, share it, you know, one of the three or all of the above. Thanks for watching.